If you're thinking about moving from Northern Virginia to Lynchburg, then here's the things that nobody is going to tell you. Hey, I'm Adam Stinespring. I'm a realtor here in Lynchburg, Virginia, and I have helped many families move here. Some love it, and a couple have learned the hard way. So today I'm going to share with you the shocks that catch Northern Virginia transplants completely off guard. That way, you can decide if Lynchburg's actually right for you. Look, I get it. Northern Virginia houses are really expensive. The traffic's insane. You're probably staring at a $1 million townhome and saying there has to be something better. And there is, but it's different, really different. The first shock that most people have is the pace of life. So in Northern Virginia, everyone's rushing, right? Always. It's like a badge of honor or something. But in Lynchburg, if you tailgate someone because they're going the speed limit or slightly above, then you're probably going to be the problem. Restaurants close at 9, sometimes 8, and that 24-hour lifestyle, it's just gone. A client from Arlington called me in a panic and said, "Where do I get my groceries at 11 p.m.? You don't. You plan ahead. Novel idea, right? The second shock is making friends here works differently. In Northern Virginia, you network. You LinkedIn, you schedule. But in Lynchburg, you're going to make friends at Food Line or your kids' baseball games or at church. Caveat here, people here ask, where do you go to church? Like in Northern Virginia, they probably ask, what do you do for work? And if your answer is nowhere here, then the conversation probably is going to be a little bit shorter. Not mean, just shorter. The third shock is the restaurant situation. Yes, we have restaurants and some pretty darn good ones, actually. But that Thai place that you love that's open until 2 a.m. and delivers in 20 minutes, that doesn't exist here. We've got 3 Thai restaurants, but they're closed on Mondays and Sundays and sometimes Tuesdays. It's a little random. And Uber Eats and DoorDash, they exist, but not in the quantities they do in Northern Virginia. I literally had a Northern Virginia person say, "You mean I have to cook?" Yes, Karen, you have to cook. The fourth shock is how people talk about money here. So in Northern Virginia, you compare salaries at parties, right? But in Lynchburg, talking about money is kind of like talking about a colonoscopy. You just really don't, right? If you bought your house for $400K, you probably don't want to mention what you paid because your neighbor might have paid $180 for theirs in 2015, and they may or may not want to hear about it. It's a little weird. The fifth shock is traffic complaints, right? Lynchburg people complain about traffic and it's adorable, right? Like, "Oh, it took me 20 minutes to get across town today." We don't have British accents. I'm not sure why I did that. But you being a Northern Virginia person will probably bite their tongue because your Northern Virginia commute is like 90 minutes both ways on a good day. Here's the thing. After 6 months, 20 minutes will probably feel kind of long because you're going to get spoiled and it's kind of beautiful. The sixth shock is the 2-day shopping means whenever, right? So prime delivery in Northern Virginia, it's 2 days, sometimes even 1. But in Lynchburg, it's like 2 days is a little loose, right? Might be 3, might be 4. Sometimes packages take the scenic route, I guess, maybe to Roanoke or Charlottesville or, I don't know, Mars. One client literally said, "Is my address broken?" No, you just don't live in the distribution hub anymore. So those were the negative shocks, but here's what people love and are shocking people in the best way when they move from Northern Virginia. Your mortgage payment, it's funny how low it is. You'll have a yard that's yours, not your HOA who's going to monitor how tall your grass is. Your kids can bike to school, maybe without having a panic attack. People are nice. They wave at strangers for no reason. You'll probably know your neighbors' names and their dogs and their kids and their friend's uncle's pet lizard. And that Southern hospitality thing everyone talks about, it's real. Sometimes aggressively real, but it's awesome. So who actually thrives here? Well, remote workers who value life over ladder climbing, probably. Families who want space for their kids to be kids. People who think that cooking dinner is normal. And anyone who considers a 10-minute commute long enough. Who's going to struggle? Any career climbers who need constant networking opportunities? There's some of that, but not really. Night owls who need a 3 a.m. sushi. The best you're going to get is cookout at 2 a.m. and sheets 24 hours. People who equate busy with important are probably going to struggle a little bit. And then anyone who thinks that Trader Joe's is a basic human right. Look, I've seen Northern Virginia people who have moved here, stayed for 6 months and been like, yeah, this isn't for me, and move right back. But it's not that many, because I've also seen people who say moving here saved their marriages, their sanity, and yeah, even their bank accounts. The difference is honestly expectations, right? Lynchburg is not just Northern Virginia with cheaper houses. It's a completely different lifestyle, a slower, quieter, more connected life. But you gotta want that life. If you're ready to explore what Lynchburg life really looks like for you, not the Instagram version, but the real version, then let's talk. And I'll show you some neighborhoods where the Northern Virginia refugees tend to thrive. But I'll also show you the ones where it might just feel like you moved to Mars. Comment below. What's your biggest fear about leaving Northern Virginia or something of the equivalent big city? I read every comment and I've probably helped somebody with that exact same fear. Subscribe if you want more unfiltered truth about Lynchburg, because somebody needs to tell you what the other realtors will not. I'll see you at the closing table.